that really, really limit what he can have access to. He just got an iPad for Christmas. That was a grandma gift. But other than
Does he have a phone?
No.
We thought Solange shut you down. Fuck Solange. Anyways, it's Julez Smith, Beyonce's nephew. Because that's the only way y'all gonna know who I'm talking about. Well, the bitch is disrespectful as fuck. And that's another reason why I think he a fucking punk. Because what man unprovokingly disrespects women? Like, that just don't make sense to me. So I feel like he started that argument because he wanted to, like, that's how he liked to initiate sex. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
Solange, girl, what have you done to your son? Julez Smith is once again making headlines for all the wrong reasons, with allegations that he assaulted a woman after agreeing to meet up with her at a hotel.
Julez used to slide in Hollywood Unlocked's DMs when he was younger, trying to get my staff to hook him up with different female celebrities, one of which was Sky Jackson. Y'all can go do the Googling on that. I ain't had nothing to do with it. I'm just saying that man did his own thing. And I felt very uncomfortable with Julez in our DMs because me being Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, a gay man, I don't want Julez in our DMs. So I would DM him back and say, hey, Julez, like, you know, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that, da-da-da. And then I contacted a friend of mine named Fadia who used to be at Meta to say, hey, can you please get a message to Solange that her son is in our DMs? He wanted us to help him get verified, a whole bunch of different things. So I told Fadia to go and tell Solange, and I know she went and did that.
Okay, so Julez is someone that people have been avoiding talking about for a while now because, according to many online discussions, he has built a reputation for constantly finding himself in controversy. The first major glimpse the public got into his behavior came when he was around 15 years old. Leaked private messages allegedly showed conversations between him and Disney actress Sky Jackson in a group chat, where he reportedly made several derogatory comments about her. Around the same time, an intimate video involving the two also surfaced online. Although the initial narrative was that the video had been leaked, many people became convinced that Julez himself was responsible for putting it out there in an attempt to embarrass her. Word also spread that he had gotten a girl pregnant while still a teenager and was on the verge of becoming a teen father. Reports claimed that Julez didn't want her to keep the baby, but also said that he would take responsibility for the child if it truly turned out to be his. He was doing all of this while he was still very young, yet many people chose to give him the benefit of the doubt because they believed he still had plenty of time to mature and turn his life around. Another reason people weren't so quick to criticize him was because of the love and respect they have for Solange. She has long been viewed as one of the least controversial celebrities in the entertainment industry. She's known for being cool, artistic, and unapologetically herself. It has never seemed like she was trying to stand out simply by being different from her sister, Beyoncé. That's just who she has always been, and over the years she has carved out her own unique lane in music through her creativity and individuality. Solange has also always known how to carry herself in public. From everything we've seen, she isn't afraid to stand her ground either, and Jay-Z can certainly attest to that after their now infamous elevator incident. Despite her generally positive reputation, however, some people have recently started questioning what kind of mother she has been. Now that Julez is an adult and increasingly active in the public eye, critics argue that he doesn't appear to have shown much personal growth or direction. In March, Julez was criticized after accusations surfaced that he agreed to host an event at a gay nightclub in Atlanta but allegedly failed to participate in the scheduled interviews and promotional appearances. Shortly afterward, he was seen spending time with 42-year-old Tommy Lee, a reality TV personality whose long history of legal troubles and public controversies immediately raised eyebrows. Many people also pointed out that Tommy is older than Solange, making the situation even more surprising to observers. Even before that, when Julez was just 18 years old, reports claimed that he began dating 25-year-old Instagram model Arabian, whose past relationships with several high-profile rappers, including NBA, YoungBoy, and Ghana, quickly became part of the online conversation. Most recently, a female streamer named Rhea accused Julez of becoming angry with her without warning and allegedly assaulting her after the two had been intimate. Those allegations only added to the growing list of controversies surrounding his name and have once again placed his behavior under intense public scrutiny.
But he grabbed my arm and he threw me up off of him. And he was like, get off of me. He threw me off of him, and at this point, he's literally mad. And I'm like, what the fuck is he mad about? Like, I'm still at this point confused, because I literally cannot figure out for the life of me why the fuck this nigga mad. This whole entire time, this boy keep getting upset for no fucking reason. Like, how the fuck do you wake up out of your sleep mad? How? I've never seen no shit like that in my life. Like, I'm literally shocked. So
as if that wasn't troubling enough, Rhea also alleged that Julez pulled out a firearm and threatened her, broke her phone, and then refused to pay the $120 needed to repair it or take any responsibility for what had happened. Those accusations only fueled the growing criticism surrounding his behavior and left many people questioning why he continues to find himself at the center of controversy. There have also been persistent online rumors claiming that Beyoncé has reportedly discouraged Blue Ivy from spending time around Julez because she doesn't want him to be a negative influence on her. While those claims remain unverified, they've become part of the larger conversation surrounding his public image. We know that Solange became a mother at just 17 years old, which couldn't have been an easy situation to navigate. According to long-running rumors, Julez's father, Daniel Smith, was allegedly paid $1 million to marry Solange. Regardless of how their relationship began, Daniel has remained a visible part of Julez's life over the years. There are numerous photos of the two together throughout Julez's childhood and into his teenage years, suggesting that he wasn't completely absent from the picture. Mama Tina has also spoken in the past about how Solange wasn't raising her son alone. According to her, the entire family stepped in to help, creating a strong support system to ensure that Julez grew up in a stable and well-rounded environment. If that's the case, then many people are left asking the same question: what exactly went wrong? Right now, critics argue that Julez's public image isn't much different from that of controversial figures like Blueface or NBA YoungBoy. The biggest difference, they say, is that Julez comes from a wealthy, famous family with access, opportunities, and a recognizable last name. Because of that, people expected much more from him than repeatedly making headlines for the wrong reasons and becoming involved in one controversy after another. With everything that's been said about the Knowles family over the years, Wendy Williams has argued that people shouldn't automatically believe every polished narrative presented through the mainstream media. According to Wendy's perspective, the family has always been extremely protective of its public image, allowing only carefully managed stories to reach the public while keeping anything potentially damaging behind closed doors. Think about it for a moment. If major media outlets had consistently portrayed Solange as an absent or neglectful mother, the damage to her career could have been enormous. Public perception can shape an entertainer's career, and a label like that would have likely followed her for years. Some commentators have also argued that society often reacts differently when fathers are absent than when mothers are. They claim that if Julez's father had completely disappeared from his life, many people wouldn't have been nearly as surprised. But if Solange had been perceived the same way, the backlash would have been immediate and intense. It also could have reflected negatively on Beyoncé and Tina Knowles, making the entire family the subject of even greater scrutiny. Because of that, critics believe the family's public messaging consistently emphasized togetherness and support. They frequently shared photos, spoke about everyone being involved, and highlighted how Solange had a strong village around her during her journey as a young mother. Even Julez himself has spoken publicly about his mother, describing her as one of his biggest supporters and someone who has always encouraged him throughout his life.
Mom's gonna be mom's always, you know, that's my biggest support system for sure, so.
What do you admire most about her?
She's just the fly, she's the best. Yeah.
Now, if there's one person who has consistently been critical of this family over the years, it's Wendy Williams, and according to her, she has plenty of receipts to back up her claims. Wendy has repeatedly argued that the public image surrounding the Knowles family doesn't always match what was allegedly happening behind the scenes. According to claims discussed on Wendy's platform, extended family members reportedly told her that the situation was very different from what the public believed. They alleged that while Julez and Solange did live under the same roof whenever she wasn't away in New Orleans, it was still a case of a teenager trying to raise a child while figuring out life herself. Solange became a mother at a very young age, and has always been described as a free-spirited person who liked to live life on her own terms. According to these claims, becoming a parent wasn't enough to completely slow down that lifestyle. The same sources allegedly claimed that Julez often ended up being cared for by Mama Tina or Beyoncé whenever Solange was busy. They also alleged that when Solange was with him, she took a very relaxed approach to parenting, choosing to be more of a friend than a strict disciplinarian. According to those reports, she rarely enforced structure or consistent discipline during his early years. The allegations didn't stop there. Julez's father, Daniel Smith, was also described as taking on the role of the cool dad rather than providing firm guidance or correction. As a result, critics have questioned whether Julez received the structure needed while growing up. According to the same insiders, Beyoncé and Solange eventually clashed over Julez's upbringing. Beyoncé reportedly believed that Solange needed to be more hands-on and set firmer boundaries for her son. Solange, however, allegedly rejected that criticism and fired back by accusing Beyoncé of also relying heavily on outside help to raise her own children while presenting a different image publicly. Solange reportedly claimed that, unlike Beyoncé, she mainly depended on their cousin Angela for support. She allegedly felt that Mama Tina was often focused on Beyoncé's career and family rather than giving her the same level of attention. According to these reports, the disagreement became so intense that Matthew Knowles supposedly stepped in to mediate the situation, but the sisters were still unable to reach common ground. The alleged fallout is said to have taken place in 2023. Some online commentators have even speculated that this could explain why Beyoncé didn't publicly thank Solange during one of her Grammy acceptance speeches that year, despite acknowledging several other family members. However, that connection remains speculative and has never been confirmed. Looking back, many people believe that when Julez became involved in earlier controversies, including the alleged release of private conversations involving Skai Jackson and videos that circulated online, as well as footage from inside Beyoncé's award room, his parents should have stepped in immediately. Critics argue that this would have been the perfect opportunity to teach him about privacy, accountability, and how to navigate life under constant public scrutiny. Instead, some observers feel that Julez never received the guidance expected of someone growing up in one of the world's most famous families. When people compare his public behavior to Blue Ivy's, they often point out the stark contrast in how each has handled life in the spotlight. Whether that comparison is fair or not, it's one that frequently comes up in online discussions. Many social media users have shared strong opinions about the situation. One person wrote, "I'm looking at Solange and Julez's father because this is very strange. How does your son allegedly push a woman to the ground, assault her, threaten her with a weapon, smash her phone, and pour Casamigos on her? What kind of example is he following?" Another commenter added, "As much as I like the Carter family, Julez seems to have a troubling pattern, but their team is good at keeping stories from gaining traction online." Someone else questioned, "Why does Julez seem so aggressive toward women? What lessons is his father teaching him?" At the same time, others believe it's unfair to assume that Solange supports or condones any of the allegations surrounding her son. Publicly, there has been no evidence that she has defended or encouraged that type of behavior, and many people hope that isn't the case. What do you think? Is Julez's behavior something that deserves serious concern, or do you think people are reading too much into the actions of a young adult who's made mistakes? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, baddies.